What if I told you your calendar is quietly shaping you? That it's teaching you what to value, what to worry about, and what to hope for? That time isn't just a neutral grid of seconds and minutes, but, well, an architecture for an entire way of life? Okay, let's dive into this, because we're going to explore a completely different way of thinking about time, using the ancient Hebrew calendar as our guide.
So, on one hand, you've got our world, modern time. It's a machine, right? It's all about efficiency, optimizing every second, hitting those deadlines. Time is basically a resource that you manage or that manages you. But on the right is a totally different way of seeing things, Hebrew time. Time as a relationship. It's not structured for productivity, it's built for encounter, for story, and for connection. It's not a machine, it's a covenant.
And this quote just nails it. This isn't just about scheduling holidays or remembering dates. The calendar itself is a piece of technology, and its purpose is to build and remember a very specific kind of relationship.
So, the first huge idea we have to wrap our heads around is that in this worldview, time isn't just empty space that we fill up with stuff. Nope. It comes preloaded with meaning. Certain times are appointed.
And this all comes down to a key Hebrew word, moedim. It means appointed times. These are designated moments that are literally woven into the fabric of the year, specifically for encounter with God, with the community, and with the big story that holds everyone together. Time itself has a purpose built right into it.
Now, what's so fascinating is how even the mechanics of the calendar, the gears and pulleys of how it works, reinforce these deep ideas. It's a lunisolar system, meaning it tracks both the moon and the sun, and that tension between the two is absolutely crucial.
The months follow the moon. And just think about this rhythm for a second. The light disappears completely. Then it slowly grows to fullness, then it fades away again, and then, just when it's gone, it returns. The calendar is teaching you a lesson before you even know the date. Hiddenness is part of the cycle. Things that seem lost have a way of coming back.
But here's the thing. A calendar based only on the moon would slowly drift out of sync with the seasons. So, to fix this, a solar correction, an entire extra month, is periodically added. Now this is brilliant because it illustrates a core principle. The system assumes it's going to drift. It knows things get out of alignment, and it builds the correction right into its own structure. It's designed to stay connected to reality.
And this brings us to maybe the most radical move this calendar makes. It completely redefines the most basic question you can ask about time. Where does it begin?
This seems like a simple question, right? I mean, for most of us, it's January 1st. But the answer here reveals everything about what this calendar truly values. And trust me, it's not what you'd expect.
Okay, get this. There are actually 2 New Years. In the fall, there's Tishrei, which is the civil New Year. It's tied to creation and the agricultural cycle. But the sacred year, the one that really matters, begins in the spring with the month of Nisan. And why then? Because that is the month of the Exodus from Egypt. And this is the whole point. This is huge. The calendar's true north isn't the creation of the world, it's the redemption of its people. For this calendar, identity begins with salvation. The entire year is reoriented around that foundational story of deliverance. Okay, so if the story of redemption is the center of the calendar, what's the structure holding it all together? Well, it's a beautifully simple, repeating pattern that scales from the smallest unit of time all the way to the largest.
The number is 7. In Hebrew thought, this isn't just a number on the line. It represents wholeness, completeness, the fullness of a covenant. And this number is basically the primary architectural tool for the entire calendar.
Just look at how this pattern echoes at every single level. The 7th day is the Sabbath, a day of rest. A cycle of 7 weeks leads to the Feast of Shavuot. The 7th month, Tishri, is packed with major feasts. This 7th year is a sabbatical for the land itself, where it gets to rest. And then, 7 times 7 years brings the Jubilee, a total societal reset. It's this incredible fractal pattern of rest and release.
And we have to understand what this rest really means. The Sabbath isn't a life hack to help you recharge so you can be more productive on Monday. No, it is a radical act of trust. It is a weekly declaration of resistance against the idea that our value comes from our constant hustle and output.
So when you put all these pieces together, the appointed times, the narrative center, that rhythm of 7, you don't just get a calendar. You get an engine for creating a just and distinct society. You get a profound act of resistance.
The feasts themselves tell a single, coherent story throughout the year.
The story moves from redemption at Passover to revelation at Shavuot, to restoration on the Day of Atonement, and finally to God dwelling with His people at the Feast of Tabernacles. The year itself is a narrative that shapes the identity of the people living inside it.
And you have to see what a profound political act this is. Ancient empires mark time by the reigns of their kings and emperors. This calendar, it completely ignores them. It doesn't care who's on the throne in Babylon or who's consul in Rome. Time is marked by God's actions, not by the whims of human power.
And nowhere is this resistance more radical, more mind-blowing than right here. The calendar actually commands economic resets. Every 7th year, all debts are canceled. Poof, gone. And every 50th year, all ancestral land is returned to its original family. This is time being used as an instrument of justice, structurally designed to prevent the kind of generational poverty that defines so many other societies.
So let's bring it all back to us. Our calendar, our mechanical way of seeing time, is a source of constant pressure. Let's be honest. It produces anxiety. The deadline is always just around the corner. The quarterly report is always due.
The Hebrew calendar has a totally different goal. It's not about maximizing speed. It's about maximizing alignment. Through all its cycles of rest, remembrance, and release, its one true goal is the formation of a certain kind of people shaped by justice, by trust, and by a story of redemption.
And that leaves us with one final question to think about. We all live by a calendar. It dictates our rhythms, it shapes our priorities, whether we realize it or not. So if your calendar is a teacher, what exactly is it teaching you about what matters most?